Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of the Biztainment podcast. Today I have a treat for you guys. Today I'm going to talk about the 3 levels of value creation in the marketplace. Like, have you asked yourself why certain people in the same organization are paid differently? Someone might be paid minimum wage and someone else might be paid millions of dollars, for example, and they're in the same organizations. And so this question was really inspired by a 19-year-old kid. I think he was second season. I think he was a sophomore, I believe, in college. And he put me aside one day and said, "Mustafa, can you tell me one thing about business?" I said, "What's going on?" He's like, "Why do the hardest working people in the organization usually pay the least?" And I had to ponder on that. I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, like the people who work the hardest in the organization are usually paid the least." And I was like, you're onto something. So this whole episode was inspired by that 19-year-old question. And I'm going to go a little deep. So this is the kind of episode that it's more like a masterclass. And I want you to take a lot of notes. I want you to even watch it a couple times because it's very important, but also not an easy concept to digest at one settings. So I wish I knew this concept when I was in college, or when I was looking for a job, or when I was even in high school. This concept, usually people don't talk about it. You just stumble about it, like me. Like, I just came across the concept and looked at it and said, "Oh, okay, it makes sense now. I understand." And every once in a while, we all know that. Remember those surveys that come out, surveys that come out that says the CEO of Fortune 500 company of this company made like 350 times as more than its average employees, right? We get those surveys and then people go crazy in the comments and say, "Oh my God, greedy corporations, how can they do that? How can," like, for example, the CEO, I believe, of Target made $15 million and the average employees was making less than $50,000. And there is a reason for that. Remember, we are still in a capitalistic society. In a capitalistic system, values are created not equally, right? Some people are very valuable to the organizations and some people are just replaceable. For example, if you look at the 15-year-old McDonald's who flips burgers, if he quits tomorrow, in a couple of days they're going to bring in another 15-year-old kid and the business goes on. I mean, nothing will actually happen because they have processes, automations in place, and everything is fine. But if a VP of the company or a CEO leaves, then it takes a lot to replace that person because they have different value in the marketplace. So the only difference between that CEO, for example, and that kid at McDonald's is leverage. One has leverage and the other one has no leverage at all. And let me explain what is leverage, right? The mechanical term of leverage is something you put in minimum effort and you get in you put in so minimum input and you get out the maximum output. That's what leverage is, for example, right? If me and you go to a store and I walk 3 miles to the store and back, and you take the car and you go to the same store, you have more leverage than me. The car is the leverage at that point. I hope you understand the concept of leverage. Like, it's something you use that makes your life easier than someone else. And the person who really makes great money in the company or in general has a lot more leverage. And we're going to get a little deeper in the leverage, what the 4 types of leverages and stuff like that. So the 3 levels of value creation in the marketplace is level 1 are usually the doers. When I say the doers, is the people who actually implement the thing, the people who actually do the thing, right? Like janitors, housekeepers, construction workers, mechanics. They actually use their physical resources. They use their hands, the physical resources, and their time. And usually those are the ones that are paid the least in the organizations. People who actually do the thing. Like when you go to a Amazon warehouse, for example, or the assembly line workers. Those people are paid the least because they have the least leverage. All they have is their physical resources, right, and time. Both are limited because they can only work so much. You can only work 12 hours in a day and then you're going to get tired, right? So you're physically you're limited. And then they can only work so many hours. So you're also time-wise limited. So they're using two limitations, which is the physical aspect of it, and then also the time constraint, because you only have 24 hours in a day. You can only work so much in a day, and there's only so much you can earn, right? So you are limited at that point. So they have no leverage at all. So that's the level one, the workers. If you are level one right now, I would say try to get to level 2 or level 3, especially go completely skip level 2. I'm going to get to it what level 2 is. Go straight to level 3. But if you're level 1, it's nothing wrong starting at level 1. We all started somewhere. There's nothing wrong with that. But try to go to two levels up. Like second level, for example, is the manager's level. Right? What is that? It's the people who actually manage the level ones, like the doers. Right? Their leverage, the only leverage they have is they have the management skills. Right? They manage other people's problems, other people's time, and that's why they're paid a little more better than the people who actually do the thing, the doers, right? But they still have a constraint of time too, right? They have to go and work. They have to come to work, and they have to manage people 40 hours, 80 hours, whatever it is, and then they get paid. So the leverage is a little better than the ones, but not much. I mean, it's about the same. It's just they're just on a little better level. Level 2s are usually the people that remember we went to college and when we got the degrees, those are the white collar workers, people who have some sort of a degree. They don't work labor jobs, but they somehow a little up. But I mean, it's nothing financially free. It's nothing to be proud about. But they are those are the people. That's usually where people end up when they graduate from college. Those are the level 2s, the managers, right? And with level 2s, they can range from, they're a little above the minimum wage, right? They can range from $30,000, $40,000 all the way up to VPs at corporations like this. So the earning potential is much higher than level 1s. But at the end of the day, they're still limited by time, right? They have to come there, they have to work, and they can't be replaced, and that's a lot of problems. Now, let's look at level 3. Now that's when it gets really good, right? Level 3 is where everybody should be or should try to get there as soon as possible. That's where actually the money is made. That's when financial freedom is created. That's actually where you see value creation in the marketplace, right? When you say value, when you flipping a burger or working on a car, it's a tire, in a mechanic in a shop, for example. Yeah, it has some value, but it's not great value. Now, level 3s are the communicators, the creators of businesses, the inventors of ideas and new technologies, right? Those are the people who actually are on the upper echelon, right? They really make the money. And that's where everybody's trying to get to, because they have leverage over there, right? They have a lot of leverages. For example, if you are level 3 and you own a company, for example, and you're a business owner, you can leverage labor. You can leverage other people, right? Instead of just your 8 hours, now you can have, let's say, 10 people work for you. Now you have 80 hours of leverage every hour for the day, right? For example, like you have labor leverage. Other people, for example, have code and technology leverage, right? For example, Facebook or YouTube or other places. Like, for example, I'm utilizing YouTube right now or Spotify. I do one video right now, and this video might be viewed by hundreds of people, thousands of people. That's leverage. Imagine me sitting in front of 1,000 people one at a time, right? That would be constrained. So I'm using technology as a leverage right now, and that's why you see people like Mark Zuckerberg, for example, on Facebook, or Jeff Bezos on Amazon. Those people are just multi-billionaires because they have leverage over other people. Their leverage is technology, right? And there's also capital leverage, right? For example, people like VCs, people who actually have money, right? They say it takes money to make money sometimes. And if you can invest your money and your money makes you more money, that's leverage, right? A lot of people say, I don't have capital to start with, for example. Yeah, because they are limited. And someone else with a capital will have more opportunities than you because he has a little more leverage, right? And now the highest level of leverage is the type of leverage. The highest level is, I would say, media, right? Media is one of the highest. That's why you see people like Elon Musk buying Twitter, for example, or X, because he understands media moves people. It moves masses. It actually it can turn into completely into a different. It can turn elections to on his head, for example, right? It can really move masses. He can actually communicate, for example, his message to millions of people at the same time. That's media. And the social media, that's what we call it, social media, is they're social, but they're also media at the same time, right? You can advertise it, you can play around if you just want to be on social media, but actually it's much bigger than that. It's pretty much back in the days, media was controlled by big corporations like CNN, Fox, stuff like that. Now everybody can now be their own media, and that's the biggest leverage of all of them, right? When I say labor, capital, technology, and media, those are all leverages people employ every single day, and that's how you get this on level 3. Those are the level 3s. In the next videos, probably I'm going to talk about the skills that you need to get to level 3, and those are specific skills that people actually can get nowadays. For example, if you think about it, we live in the greatest time in the human history right now, right? Thanks to the internet. Back in the days, not even so long time ago, when I was in college, for example, we had 2 options. Option number 1 was go to college, get a job, and that's the route you take. And that's the route we took, all of us. Most of my friends took. And then there's also another route, which is if you don't go to college, then go to work, and you're going to work in some labor jobs. I mean, those are the only 2 options we had back in the days. Now, thanks to the internet, we have a complete third path that a lot of people actually are now exploring. And I was like, I'm a little envious. I was like, we never had that real opportunity back in the days, but now everybody has the opportunity. Like, you can be your own economy right now. You don't have to join another company. You can be your own economy, start your own media company, starting your own industry. Now you can start your own show if you want it. Like, when I say we live in the greatest time of human history, is there is no more gatekeepers, right? Back in the days, you have to ask someone else. If you want to publish a book, you have to go to a publishing company, right? Those big publishing company, they will say, send us your manuscript, and then we're going to read it. And if they like it, they might print your book, but there's no guaranteed. Or if you want to be a singer, for example, you have to actually go to the big studios and actually beg them to, listen to your songs, stuff like that. Nowadays, that's all out the window. If you want to show your for example, your talent to the world, you just go to YouTube and you just sing, for example, or you dance, whatever you want to do it, or you just show your talent to the world, and the world will just pick it up, for example, right? Or now you can just self-publish your book if you want it. You can do that. If you want to be in front of, let's say back in the days, if you want to be in front of media, you have to go to local media, or CNN or MSNBC, those big companies. What are the chances for them even to accept you to be on those interviews, for example, right? Now you can create your own, like what I'm doing right now. You can create your own show, and you can actually start creating your own media, right? So when I say we live in the greatest time in the human history, I really mean it, because I mean that there's no more gatekeepers. Everybody's equal, and it is really your responsibility to think about how you can be part of this economy, because this is not going to be this forever, right? It will disappear at some point. It will be saturated. But right now, it's like the gold rush, right? Be part of this gold rush. Learn the skills that you need so you can be part of this great, what is called the creative economy, for example, right? I think for today, I want you to think about those 3 levels. Level 1, the doers, people who actually do some stuff with their hands. Level 2 are the managers who manage the doers. And level 3 are the creators, the communicators, the entrepreneurs, the inventors. Those are the 3 levels. And you need to be at level 3 as soon as possible. But it starts with awareness. Like, you got to know. I didn't know this information, right? And it comes from a guy who was in the College of Business, right? I did my bachelor's degree in finance, and then I went back to school and did my MBA. And if I don't know this information, imagine now the other people who are not in College of Business, like the nurses and the engineers and people who are just the teachers and stuff like that. They don't know this information. So you got to know this information first and then act upon it, right? So be aware of the next videos. So I'm going to pull up some videos in the next coming weeks It's gonna be solo podcasting of me, of the kind of skills that you need, and then I'm gonna be interviewing also other people and so on. So I think this should be it for today, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye.